Hey, it's Eric Ritter, and I'm back here with the Mentality Shift video series and YouTube channel. Started recently. This is going to be episode 2. Thought long and hard this week about what I want this first topic to be and what I want this first video in the series to be about. Thought about mental skills. I thought about leadership. I thought about coaching, and then I thought, what have I been doing for a couple of years? I've been an assistant men's basketball coach at the small NCAA college level, and want to share some experiences and lessons that I learned that I hope help you. I hope you're not looking at these videos going, duh, that's obvious. Those are the easy, low-hanging fruit. But I'm hoping that I can convict some people, talk to your hearts, and give you some advice on things that I learned. And I hope that throughout my career I can maintain and keep these three things at the forefront of what I'm doing in coaching and mental skills. Okay, so here's the 3 things that I want to talk about today that I learned while coaching in the last couple years at the small college NCAA level. Men's basketball, that is. So this is men's. Like I said, not claiming to be an expert, just claiming to have picked up a few things along the way. I think these 3 things are things that all coaches can do. All mental skills professionals can use these as well. But the one thing that I want to talk about that's probably the third in list for what I've done is that culture starts at the top. This is number 3, I would say. Culture starts at the top. There's no chance that you can build culture if the head coach and the assistant coaches aren't living that culture out daily. Don't confuse culture with winning either. I don't want people thinking that I'm talking about culture as in trust falls and all this other crazy stuff. I'm talking about the innate characteristics of your program. Culture is built from deciding what values you want your program built on, and then holding your coaching staff, yourself, and your players accountable to those things. Fastest way to lose culture is by allowing things that aren't allowed in your culture, your non-negotiables, to creep in. So not here to teach an exhaustive workshop on culture today. Might be a longer video I do later. But one of the 3 things that I learned was just that culture starts at the top. As coaches, we have to hold ourselves accountable. We have to live it. We have to breathe that into our players, and we have to enforce it. Letting any player get away with something or letting it slide can cause a breach and a chink in that armor. And then your culture, tell you what, it goes to crap real fast. Had to hold back my military mouth there and use the crap word, but can go downhill pretty fast if you're not keeping an eye on that. Probably the second thing that I've learned over the last couple of years is that truth and honesty must transcend all other attributes for players and coaches alike. If you want to grow as a coach, whether it's a head coach, an assistant coach, you need to be honest with yourself about what you're doing, how you're performing, honesty with your players. This trait has to be in the forefront of everybody within your culture and within your program. Players have to be able to be honest with each other. They have to be able to call each other to the carpet and hold each other accountable for that without fear. The 12th man on your bench has got to be able to hold the number 1 guy on your team accountable, just as that 12th guy should be able to hold your assistant coach accountable too, to those cultural values that you establish. And the third thing that I said, culture starts at the top, right? But it also goes all the way to the bottom. If the bottom guy's not holding it up, and neither is the top guy, and they're not able to be honest with each other about things, then I guess that's a problem. As a coach, if a player comes to you, and this is just an example, something I've seen, but if a player comes to you and says that you're making him feel a certain way, or he's fearful to perform a certain way because of playing time, or because you yell at him or you talk to him a certain way, like, what are the things we like to say as coaches, right? Oh, he's soft. He doesn't have the mentality. He's young. He doesn't get it yet. Maybe he doesn't, but it's my job as a coach to stand up and teach him how to do it, right? So what he's bringing you is his truth. Whether it's a real truth or not, or whether you're in agreement with that, doesn't matter. If a player says you're making him feel a certain way, then you're making him feel a certain way. And if you get too much of that in your program, what's that player going to do at the end of the year? Transfer, right? Now, it goes the other direction too. College basketball isn't for everybody. I'm not a coach who thinks that everybody should stay on the team. I think there should be tryouts. I think everybody should earn their way. So for me personally, I'm a little old school mentality that way. I also come from a military background where everybody holds their weight, right? If a guy's not living up to the cultural standards you set, or a guy's not contributing in a manner that you think is indicative of what you want in your team, guy's got to go. Doesn't matter his age, doesn't matter what he's done for you, but he's got to go. Now, slight pause in that. I will tell you this, if it's a guy you've been around, a guy you have trust in, a guy you believe in, a guy you've mentored, and you know that you have a good relationship with him, keep that guy. Allow that change to happen. But you have to, as a coach, be willing to mentor him and walk him through that tough spot. I know sometimes coaches, we rag on our guys when they're not around. We complain. He's fussing about things. He's not playing a lot. He's asking me about playing time. I want a player asking me that. That means he has a desire to be there and he wants to work hard. If I'm honest with him about when he can play and how he can earn playing time, shouldn't be a problem, right? So that's the number 2 thing I learned. Got to go both ways, through coaches, through players, through assistants. Probably the number 1 thing that I learned over the last couple, 2.5 years coaching college basketball, and didn't become relevant to me until after I left the military, is relationships matter. Relationships in life matter, and that starts with your coaching staff. If you do not have relationships with your assistant coaches outside of basketball, then you're not doing it right. And that's the truth. Small college basketball, most of you coaches that are watching this will attest to this. 10% basketball, 90% managing players and organization. Tell me I'm wrong. Post in the comments and tell me I'm wrong. Or be a smart ass and tell me it's 85-15. I don't care how you do it. But understanding that your relationship with your assistant shouldn't be 100% basketball. If your relationship with your players is 90% outside of ball, 10% during the season and in basketball, then your relationship with your assistants should be similar. And if you're not a coach that can be a top guy and lead a program and care about your assistant coaches in that way, then I would challenge and say that you probably shouldn't be a head coach. Now, I know I'm going to get flack for that because I've never been that head guy at the collegiate level, but I want to hold myself accountable to that as well. And I hope that by posting this video that all you coaches who watch this in the future will hold me accountable to that. Check me. So relationships matter with your coaching staff, with your players, with the people on campus, especially the people on campus, administrators in your own athletic department, and other coaches. How do you think we fill the stands at small college ball? Other athletes. Get out there, watch their games, encourage your players to support them. They will come support you. Promise you that's how it works. Big time schools, a little bit different. Got some people that I know, former coaches of mine that coach big time now. They got fans for generations. They ain't got to worry about that. Small college basketball, we got to worry about that. Get out and support other athletes and teams. Support people. Go talk to the staff at the university and the faculty. Engage with them. Get out of your office as a head coach. Go speak with people and create relationships. When I want to bring students in on visits, I definitely want admissions and student life helping me out with that. I want them pitching our program like it's the greatest thing since Wonder Bread was invented. That's a bad example, but relationships are the biggest key to being successful in small college basketball. I would say relationships, then breed the culture that you want, and then hold people accountable to being a part of that culture. Now, do all those pieces translate into winning basketball games? I'd argue they do, but the truth is they may not. And you have to be okay with that. And being comfortable as a coach and knowing that you still may not get the results, but you're doing things the right way, I guarantee you'll have a heck of a lot more enjoyable experience when you're forming relationships, holding players accountable, and living that culture out. One last piece of advice, coaches, is that got to understand that we're not the savior of the campus. We're not the savior of the men's basketball program. God didn't send us to be the gift to these guys to change everything, but God did send us to serve these people. So understanding that serving the campus, serving the partners, serving the resources, be involved on campus outside of your office. Those are the things I would say are the most important that I learned just 2.5 years on campus as a college basketball coach and working still as an academic advisor. So just understanding that being an assistant, a full-time assistant, is a blessing. Being a full-time collegiate basketball coach is a blessing. Use that blessing to bless other people. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Leave comments. Let me know what you think. Follow me on IG and Twitter. Hope to hear from some of you coaches soon. See you later.